What's going on, guys, and welcome to my first division predictions video of the 2024-25 season. We're starting off this season with the Metro Division. I believe last year I did better than the previous year, getting every spot in the division right. Of course, you realize how hard it is after a few years of doing this officially. So we got 8 Metro teams on the board, 8 spots to fill, who is going to finish where, and how wrong will I be? So to start off with the 8th in the Metro Division, it's unfortunate considering what's happened, but I'm still going to have to put the Columbus Blue Jackets in 8th place in this division. Comparatively speaking to the rest of this division, this team does not stack up with pretty much anyone. Of course, the loss of Johnny Gaudreau is a heavy factor of that. He was supposed to be a huge part of this team going forward. He's going to be a huge motivation for this team this season, but he's not going to be on the ice out there where he should be. So, overall, they bring in guys like Van Riemsdyk. I'm not sure if Caden Lindstrom's going to play. I don't think he's signed an entry-level deal yet. So, this team's going to be in another long haul rebuilding, likely going to be the worst team in the Eastern Conference by a bit. But we'll see. We'll overall see how Columbus takes the loss of Johnny Gaudreau and if it motivates them to go on a streak to start the year or what's going to happen here. 7th place is where things get a little tougher, but I'm still going to go with my gut here. Although John Tortorella is coaching, I still have the Philadelphia Flyers finishing in 7th in this division. Purely talent-based. They get Michkov. That Michkov will make them better. They made no signings in free agency. At least not as of now. At least not that I remember either. They kind of just re-signed a couple guys. They got Michkov's ELC, and they're just rolling with it. So, just another year to just get some of the young guys going. Just keep drafting guys, and that's what the rebuild is for the Flyers. It went pretty well last year with Tortorella behind the bench, so if he can get them playing that play style, if he and Michkov don't butt heads, and Tortorella's been really good at adapting, understanding new players, and adapting to the game as it's being played today, opposed to how it was 20 years ago. He's a bit more open-minded. And I think that's a great trait to have in a coach, so they're going to go run through a brick wall for this guy, I think. However, talent-wise, they just don't have it, comparatively speaking, so that's why I'm putting them in 7th. In 6th, we have their state brethren in the Pittsburgh Penguins. Move this down a little bit so I can fit everything in. Pittsburgh is getting older. Pittsburgh is, I think, still the oldest team in the league, and they're not really doing much to help that fact. Crosby's been extended for the final time. You still have your gang there of Malkin, Carlson, Letang, Rust. Getzel's gone now, so that gets them even older. But I don't know. This is going to be Riley Smith is traded to the Rangers. I don't really know what to say. Jari is going to have to be a staple in that once again, and I just don't see how this team can make the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if this year could be the year where they kind of fall off and even fall lower than 6th in the division. But when you have a team with Crosby, Malkin, Letang, guys that have been there, people are going to make the argument that this team could still do it. They've done it before, and they could surprise us again. But I don't see it happening. In 5th is where it gets just real tough here. I'm debating whether or not I go with my gut, or there's a lot of teams I want to choose for these positions. I'm going to go with the New York Islanders. New York Islanders in 5th and outside the playoffs. I've had them outside the playoffs now for a little bit. They're a team that keeps making the playoffs, and I really don't understand how they're making the playoffs. I mean, the defense and goaltending. They add Duclair. That's really their big addition. They're going to probably take a bet on Wallstrom and Holmstrom developing. Horvat, Barzal, those are your 2 staples on the offense along with Duclair. Anders Lee's going to be older. Brock Nelson's probably just going to keep scoring goals. Dobson's going to take a big step. And Sorokin needs to have a bounce-back year. Sorokin didn't have a great year. Lucky for them, Varlamov did. Got them into the playoffs, but last year they only had 94 points, and that was good enough for 3rd in the Metro. And now you got teams that are better in the Metro, teams that have definitely gotten better over the offseason. So I could see the Islanders taking a step back because they really didn't add much. And of course, some of their veteran players they've let go of. Clutterbuck and Martin, I'm not sure, have re-signed yet. In fourth, the Washington Capitals. Washington made the playoffs last year on a tiebreaker, and realize how I don't have them finishing inside the playoffs either. That's where I'm drawing the playoff line here. You have 3 in the playoffs for the Metro. Because I'm going to have 5 in the Atlantic, obviously, then. And Washington, they did a good job. They went out. Now they have Charlie Lindgren and Logan Thompson as their goaltending. Good move there. They brought in Jacob Chikrin, didn't they? Chikrin should be a helpful addition to the offense. No Oshie or Backstrom for the entire season, so it's going to be a lot more reliance on guys like Dylan Strome, the Protas brothers, younger guys that are coming up in the lineup, as well as veterans who are going to be trying to get Ovechkin that goal record. That's kind of what these seasons have been. Ovechkin got his cup. Now they're trying to kind of get him that goal record. And I'm not sure if it's sacrificing wins in this category, in this state that they're in. But overall, this is a team that's kind of middling right now. They're avoiding the rebuild by trying to get younger. And I think they're doing a decent job of it. Would it be beneficial probably to move Ovechkin for the team? Yes. Will they? No. Ovechkin will never probably be moved from Washington, and I really can't see it happening. Crosby's staying with Pittsburgh, Malkin's staying with Pittsburgh, Letang's staying with Pittsburgh, Ovechkin is staying with Washington. As Backstrom will also retire with Washington. In third, this team took a lot of losses this year in the offseason. Teravainen, Pesce, Ranta. But Carolina, we'll see how they adapt. They get all of their young RFAs signed. Drury, I had a mind fart there. Drury, Jarvis, and Nashis were all signed. Nashis was probably the most surprising that they got him signed. But Carolina did face a lot of depth, losing a lot of depth. They added Jack Roslovic, I recall. And for Carolina, it's going to be a competitive top 3. I think we know the 3 teams that are definitely in the playoffs, but it's 3 teams that are going to be battling pretty much the entire season to gain ground for the division lead. And at number 2, that leads us to the New Jersey Devils. I said last year this team would be in the playoffs, as did everyone else. Injuries killed this team. If this team could stay healthy this year, this team is probably a considerable contender. But they added Pesce, they added Brendan Dillon, they added Markstrom. Their overall team looks pretty solid, and they have 3 good scoring lines. They got an identity line with adding Paul Cotter. I think that was a really good move. You lose Alex Holtz in that deal. Holtz wasn't being played a lot. Holtz has a better chance in Vegas to develop, where they're starting to lack that scoring type. So for the Devils, it's going to be a telling year if this could be their team going forward, and their contention status kind of lies in this year. If it doesn't work, then that 2022 run is going to look like a 2023 run is going to look like a 1-year wonder. Jeez, I'm forgetting what time. Forgetting years already. Not that old. And then, of course, number 1, I'm going to take the New York Rangers. They won the President's Trophy last year. They didn't lose a whole lot in the offseason. This is going to be their last big year with Shesterkin, so it's kind of the all-in year because then they got to pay him. But we'll see. Let's take Carolina X, and who do I have in the... Yeah, I'll probably take... I'm debating if I take them as the conference winner or just the division winner. I'm thinking about who's in the East, and I'll take them as the conference winner again. I'll give them the Z. I think they'll be able to beat up a lot more in the Metropolitan than anyone is going to be in the Atlantic. The Atlantic, 8 considerable teams for the playoffs. This division, you don't. I really don't see anyone Pittsburgh and below making the playoffs. Islanders and Washington are possible, but I think they're lacking some of that oomph that a lot of the Atlantic Division teams do have now, and the Atlantic just keeps getting stronger and stronger. So that's my Metro Division predictions. You got the Rangers winning the conference and the division, the Devils, the Hurricanes in. Outside the playoffs, the Capitals, the Islanders, the Penguins, the Flyers, and the Blue Jackets. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Look forward to the next predictions coming soon, and I shall see you all in the next one. Have a good one.